When it comes to your food security, it's up to you and only you. And I'm going to share with you 4 ways to fight back against the corrupt food industry. The 4 ways to fight the corrupt food industry are actually solutions. Please make sure you stay till the 4th and final solution because it's going to really tie everything together. Number 1, stop buying crap and eating it. If you don't buy the stuff that the corrupt food industry is selling, they have no more customers to sell to, and they either go bankrupt, out of business, or have to change what they're doing. And please, stop giving this stuff to your kids. It's one thing if you're poisoning your body with all these dyes, seed oils, toxic chemicals that they're spraying on foods, but to give that to your kid is just part of the problem. And then they're gonna grow up thinking that this is normal food, even though most of these ingredients I would not even consider food to begin with. But when I go to the grocery store, there's 2 rules. Rule number 1, if I cannot pronounce an ingredient on the list, it doesn't go in the cart. Rule number 2, if I cannot imagine what that ingredient looks like, in other words, I can't envision it in my mind, it doesn't go in the cart. It means I don't know what it is. No preservatives, no dyes like food coloring, no seed oils, no refined sugar, all of that kind of stuff. We just avoid all of that altogether when we go to the store, and it really helps. Now, if you're stressed out about which brands to purchase and what do I look for, that gets easier over time. I've got some tips later that I can help you with in this video. But when we first started going down this journey several years ago, my wife and I am talking about, we would sit there at the store and we would spend most of the time reading rather than walking around purchasing items. It took a half-an-hour shopping trip into at least an hour or more just sitting there staring at these food items, trying to figure out what to purchase and what to put back on the shelf. But it gets easier because you familiarize yourself with certain brands at certain stores, where they're located, and once you find things that are good, you can just go in the store and locate them really quick, now to the point where shopping our way actually goes just as quick as it did before when we didn't care as much about what we put in our bodies. Solution number 2, grow as much food as you possibly can. I don't care how big your backyard is. I don't care if you've got a 10 by 10 backyard. Start planting things in it and grow as much as you can. It's going to make a small dent, but it's still going to make a dent in the food industry, especially if we all do this. 100 years ago, most of the people grew all their own food, or they bartered with somebody who did grow the food for them. Grocery stores were pretty much non-existent. As a matter of fact, I don't even think grocery stores as we know them today came about until the 1940s. So historically speaking, going to the grocery store is actually unusual. Don't get me wrong, I'm really thankful for grocery stores because they have things like organic bananas. I can't grow those in my yard here in Wisconsin. So there's certain things that we really love, we like the nutritional value of, that we have to go to the grocery store for. However, there's a lot of food you can grow in your backyard that you probably aren't even aware of. Grow as much food as you possibly can. Start with 5 things that you absolutely love to eat that are on your grocery list every single week. If you can grow them in your climate, a little research is involved, start growing them. We have a 20 by 40 backyard garden and a couple other raised beds. We grow a huge amount of food. That's part of why this channel exists right now, is because I'm teaching people how to be more self-reliant, to simplify their life, to increase the quality of their life. One of the ways we do that is by growing a ton of food. We have way more space that we can grow food at our house. So we're expanding our garden. We're growing more and more food each year, but just start somewhere. You've just got to start. Whether that's a small raised bed or a big in-ground bed in your backyard, start somewhere, start growing stuff you like. And if you start doing that, you're not relying on the food system that is so heavily reliant on you. It's the other way around now. So start growing your own food as much as you possibly can. Another thing you can do is start hunting or fishing, especially for big game. Every year I shoot a deer or 2. Last year I shot 2. I still have venison in my freezer from those deer that I shot last year. I'm really thrilled to do that. Not only do I love hunting, but I know it's going to benefit me and my family for a long time. If you're going for small game like ducks, squirrels, stuff like that, it's not going to be as beneficial, even though it is fun. Going for big game is probably where it's at as far as stockpiling food and getting more bang for your buck. Number 3, buy food locally. There are thousands and thousands of farmers markets all over the country, all over. We know this. When I talk to people about going to farmers markets, they go, that's a good idea. I should do that. I don't know if they end up going, but farmers markets are incredible ways to not only network with people, but to support people. There's an economic value, but also they're way better for your health as far as eating food from farmers markets. Where are you located? How long have you been doing this? What's the best kind of crop that you have? Which one sells the most? What do customers come back for all the time? Grill them with questions. If they hesitate or act a little funny, go to somebody else, because a true farmers market or people selling at the farmers markets are going to know how to answer those exact same questions. A quick little story about purchasing food locally. About a week ago, I reached out to a person I know that has cows that he's bringing in to get butchered. And my wife and I decided to buy beef in bulk from this farmer who just brought their cows in. And I'm really pleased to say that you can do this too. This person lives 10 minutes away. It's 100% grass-fed and grass-finished. I've known this person for a long time. All I have to do is drive 10 minutes away and I've got all the beef I need for a year or more. It's about 225 pounds of beef that we purchased from this farmer. You can do that too. Now, grass-fed and grass-finished is more expensive, but the nutritional value is worth it. It's really good for you. It's one of the most healthy things you can purchase. The cow that we're buying, or the meat that we're purchasing from the cow we're buying, was born on that property. It was a little calf born right there. Only lived there its entire life. The only bad day it had is when it got in the truck and went to the butcher's. Those are the type of people you want to support. It doesn't matter if you pay a little bit more, because what you're doing is you're benefiting them, you're benefiting yourself, and you're not relying on a food industry that is not caring about you. Solution number 4. This is for when you go to the grocery store. When you're there, try looking for non-GMO, organic food that is sold in season. Another thing I would like you to be familiar with is something called the Dirty Dozen, the Clean 15, and the Hateful 8. Let's dive into that a little bit. The Dirty Dozen is a group of foods that are heavily sprayed with pesticides. Maybe write this down, take it with you next time you go to the grocery store, or put notes in your grocery list. These foods are sprayed heavily with toxic chemicals, so you absolutely want to buy these foods if you can find them organic. If I can't find them organic in the store, I do not buy these foods because they're sprayed so badly. The next food group is called the Clean 15. These you don't have to purchase organic, you could if you want to. These ones are not organic, but they're not sprayed nearly as heavily as the Dirty Dozen. So people will say, if you're gonna go out and buy something and you can't find it organic, make sure it's at least one of these 15 foods called the Clean 15. The last group of foods I wanna talk to you about are the awful, dreadful seed oils. I don't care what anyone says, seed oils are terrible for you. They increase inflammation in your body, and they're in pretty much everything. You cannot buy salad dressing, for example, without one of these seed oils in them. So avoid all the seed oils. Get rid of those. If you have them in your house, throw them away. That's my recommendation. Get real butter, cook with avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, and coconut oil or lard. Or you can even do beef tallow that you can render down if you purchase a cow like we did, or you go to a local butcher shop, you can purchase suet, render it down into beef tallow, and you can fry things in that because it has a good smoke point. So if you still like having really yummy, tasty fish fries or whatever, there are solutions to that. Our job is to fight for what is correct, what is right, regardless of the outcome. It's speaking up against people who do the wrong thing. That's important. A couple weeks ago, the US Senate, a couple people from the Senate, met up with big food activists discussing this topic that I've discussed in this video, talking about how awful it is that kids are eating cereals with dyes, and type 2 diabetes is on the rise, and all these other chronic illnesses. So they're starting to listen. But I would not rely on the government to start changing these laws quickly. It's going to take a long time if they do at all. A lot of the foods that we consume in the United States are illegal in other countries, or at least the main ingredients from them. And that's one of the reasons why I became a homesteader, is to secure food for my family. Our chickens lay all of the eggs that we need. Our garden gives us most of the produce that we eat for the year, especially because we have big harvests and we preserve them either by freezing or canning that we can enjoy most of the year. We hunt, we fish, we purchase a cow from a local farmer, make our own maple syrup. We try to purchase local honey from the farmer's market here, locally grown honey. There's a lot of things you can do, and we use that stuff as a substitute for sugar. Joel Salatin has been a huge influence in my life. He doesn't know I exist. However, one of the greatest things he ever said was, there is freedom in participation. If you don't like the way the corrupt food system or the industry is treating you and lying about certain things and trying to flip labels around and intrigue kids into purchasing something or begging you to get something off the shelf and all that nonsense, don't worry about it, because you can participate in the right things, the 4 correct things that I shared with you in this video. There's freedom in that. Participate in that and you will find so much freedom and joy. If you simplify your life, it will get better. And I promise you, these 4 things we talked about in the video, if you do them, you will find more joy in going to the store, you will find more freedom, you will feel better. And Joe Salatin was right. Once I started participating in this, whether it's growing my own food, being mindful of what I'm feeding myself, my family, purchasing locally, there's so much joy and there's so much freedom in that. Buy locally, buy things in season, non-GMO organic, avoid all the crap, seed oils, dyes, all those toxic chemicals, grow your own food, and start enjoying the process along the way. So please participate. Be a participant in this journey because it can't just be me and people who watch my video. Share this out with other people. Send this to people. Start sending text messages out like crazy. Start sharing this information so more and more people are aware of what they're putting in their bodies. And like I said before, it becomes contagious. People just love this type of lifestyle once they start getting involved in it. If you'd like to find out how we grow so much food in our 20 by 40 backyard garden, I would encourage you to watch this video right here and maybe you can do the same thing in your backyard. Thanks for watching.